Alright, so we're back in the shop today, and here's what we got going on. So, if you noticed, we've got the different wheels on it. So, we're back to 4-lug, and still have the mock-up engine in it with the headers and radiator and everything here. So, we've got the Zephyr over here. I pulled the bumper off. Why did I pull the bumper off? Oh, because I was blowing out the frame rails and cleaning them out and everything. And so I wanted the inside to be a little darker color. I don't think that's quite the color I wanted, or I want. But I'm going to rough out the bay and try to paint it and make it look decent under here. This rack and pinion, I don't know if it came off this car or not, but this wheel was pointed way out this way, I mean by a lot. So I kind of tried to pull those in and get them pointed straight to help rolling it around the shop. It's obviously a little high in the rear, and I think, if I remember correctly, a half a coil on the back was too much, and I think I took a piece of heater hose and slid it around the coil to try to get a little bit of height out of it. So I don't want to do anything until all the weight's in the car. What I want to do now is get the car together and running and driving, and then eventually I want to do tubular front end. I really don't want to do coilovers on the front. I think I found BMR has a K-member that allows you to keep coil springs in the front. But I mean, that's a good ways down the road. But with the tubular K-member, the main thing I'm after is space. Because with the stock K-member, it takes up so much space in and around the engine for activities. With the tubular K-member, you just have so much more room to work and clearance and route things. And so that's what I'd like to do eventually. Right now, with all I've got going on, it's just too much money. So I switched everything over from the Wagon, obviously, because now it's back 4-lug, and then this is 5-lug. So it's got my 8.8 under it with the 31 spline 5-lug axles, the track lock, and everything on there. And then on the front, we just swapped the rotors and calipers and all my new brake stuff. So the door tag on this car is a 1980. This is a 1980. And the brake line that goes from the proportioning valve to the front wheel over here, the fitting seized up on the line at the caliper. And when I tried to take it off, the hose was already trashed. So the brake line. So this fitting is different size. These are the same year vehicles, Ford. That is straight up Ford, what I was talking about. It has to be from the exact assembly line within 30 seconds of the other one, or it's going to be different. I don't understand why Ford does that. It drives me insane, but I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I can take this fitting out of the proportioning valve on the Fairmont and switch them. But then the threads or something's going to be different, and then if I try to swap the whole proportioning valve, there's probably going to be one of these other 4 is probably going to be a different size than the other one, or it's going to seize up, and it's just, I hate brake lines. So anyway, the rear's done, but I got to get the front done on this side. Anyway, so what I want to do, excuse me, is I like this car. I like the box tops. I regret getting rid of my last box top. I should have never got rid of that car. It had a nice chromoly cage. It had a nice suspension under it and everything. But again, at that time, these cars really weren't that popular, really didn't bring that much. And I traded it for a 85 LTD that was a V6 car that was a running driving car with actually had these wheels on it. Surprisingly, these front wheels are off of that white 85 LTD. So I traded my Zephyr with the roll cage and all for that 85 LTD. I put a LS1 4L60 8.8 with 355 in it, and then I sold that car to a boy in South Carolina, and then it went to Michael Brennan, and that was a really cool car. I really liked it, but anyway, I have a problem. So here we are, full circle, which happens to me a lot. So this is a Zephyr, which I like the Zephyrs because I feel like the Zephyrs are more rare than the Fairmonts maybe, but I don't know. I like the Zephyrs because they're a little different than the Fairmonts. But I've got the 6.2, I've got the 6L80, and I found some more parts that I forgot that I had while looking for parts for this thing. So that just completely changed my direction for this whole deal. I know how I had talked about Coyote and that whole deal, and I really, really would like to try a Coyote. I would like to get into that, but at this point, I don't know enough about a Coyote. I don't have any Coyote parts, and I know that's no excuse. When I went from small block Ford to LS, I didn't have any LS stuff, and now it's everywhere. So there's no excuse, but with the 3 generations of the Coyote, I really don't know which one to get, which one's better, which one I need. I know that one guy that has one, he has said like a Gen 1, 2, 3, where they use parts from all 3, which I don't know how they fit and bolt together being Ford, because there's probably a different bolt pattern between one to the other and whatever. But anyway, I just don't know enough about Coyotes. And then when I look at them, the price of them is just insane, how much they want for a Coyote. And then I think the Gen 1 made like 360 horsepower, and then the Gen 2 was over 400 or something. But I've got a 6.2 over here that'll make 500 at the tires, and I already have it. I already have the 6L80. I already got the ECU. I already got everything to make it run and operate. So, I mean, it's a really tough decision for me because I thought about taking, just finishing putting this car together with the 6.2, 6L80 and everything, and then try to sell it. But the reality of it is these cars are a very niche market. And then you get to a wagon, and that's even more niche. And I just don't feel like somebody's going to give me the money I want. I'll have to get for this car, with the 6.2, 6L80, because they're going to complain about something, and then finding somebody that's got that kind of money to buy it is just going to be difficult, in my opinion. Now, other people that know how to list every nut and bolt that's been touched on the car and say that everything's built and make up a bunch of stuff and put in the ad, those people can sell cars, but they don't have a very good reputation for resale. I try to be as honest as I can when I sell something, and usually I'm the one that gets screwed because I forget, oh yeah, it had a brand new something in it that I forgot I'd even put on it. That's usually what happens to me. So with this thing, I just think it's too niche of a market to be able to sell this car for decent money. There's a 4-door Fairmont on my group that the guy, it has a 6.2, 6L80. The car's pretty rough patina. I mean, the car doesn't look bad to me. It's got some nice looking wheels on it. The interior does not look that great. The headliner's really messed up. But some people like the patina, but I think that if you're paying, he was asking like $24,000 for this car. And I just feel that, I mean, that's a lot of money. And when you get to asking $24,000 for something like this, I mean, there's so many other different cars out there, Corvettes and, you know, even CTSVs and stuff like that you can get into versus this somebody's project, this swap that, you know, half the stuff may or may not work. And it's just, yeah, they've got a lot of money in parts and everything. And I'm sure that they've probably got that or more in the car, especially if they paid somebody to build it for them. But I just don't think that somebody, especially for a 4-door Fairmont. Now the box top, I feel like the box top commands more money because I feel that these cars are more if somebody wants a Fairmont or a Zephyr, I think this is the body style that people want. You know, because they had the box top, you had the 4-door, you had the Futura that had like the sports roof on the back, which I absolutely hate those cars. Not a real big fan of the 4-door. I think the wagons are cool, but if I've got to have one, this is the one I want. So anyway, I know LS, I've got LS, and I really want to try a Coyote, but again, the price point, and I already have a 626 L80 that'll make 500 at the tire, you know, already together sitting behind me. So it's a really tough decision. And so that's where I'm at with it. I've strapped the K-member under it for now so I can get it back as a roller. This car is pretty rough to me for what I'm used to seeing. So I went in and patched, if you recall, there was a big hole in here. I patched all the holes, the shifter hole. There was some rust holes in it, so I went through and patched everything and hit it with a buffer wheel or disc or whatever, and got some spray paint and sprayed it so it doesn't rust anymore. This window's broken out of it, which I did not know when I got it. I've noticed it, but they have a new glass for it, but there's a piece that goes on the glass that rides on the regulator, and my welder's too close to the door. So anyway, I've got a piece coming, so hopefully I can get a window back in this thing, because that really bothers me. I did take the door bar out, and the door bar was 12 pounds, so just so for future reference for somebody. So that's 24 pounds out of the car when you take both door bars out. And so these cars are pretty lightweight. That's what I like about them. They look different than a Mustang because everybody has a Mustang, but all the Mustang goodies bolt onto them. So that's the appeal everybody has to them, is that they're Mustangs underneath. So with the wagon, what I plan on doing is getting everything that I've spent money on the car off and transferring it to the Zephyr. And then I want to try to sell it as a roller, and basically pay myself back for buying the box top. If that doesn't work, then I'll take one of the 7LSs I have around, may take this motor, clean it up, and then put a 4L60 in it and everything, and just get it together as a running, driving, swap car, so, you know, somebody can get it and expound upon it and do what they want to with it. The other thing is mostly when people buy something like this, it's not how they want it anyway, so they're going to change something about it. So, I mean, and I'm the same way. We're all the same way. If I bought this car and it was running driving LS swap, I would change something about it. I mean, that's just how it is. So, when you're trying to do something like this, you want to be in it as least amount as you can. So, when you do go to sell it, everybody's going to beat you up when you're trying to sell something, and that's just unfortunately how it is these days. So if you're in it for little money and then put effort into it and make it a running driving V8 swap, then when they go to beat you up trying to buy it, then it doesn't affect you as bad as if it had the 6.2 6L80 and the headers and exhaust, because again, nobody's going to want to pay me for all that time and effort. But anyway, enough of that. That's where we're at on both projects. So I'm about to finish taking everything out in the fuel tank, steering column, get the engine and transmission out and everything, and just get everything out of here, get this car out, and then pull the Zephyr on, and then get the fuel tank in. I got to move the cross member back and get everything set up. Now that I've got the real engine together to go in the Zephyr, we'll go ahead and put the converter in the 6L80, put the 6.2 to the 6L80, and then put it together, and then try to finalize getting everything together on the car. And then later on down the road, if I decide to put this car together, just as a low buck, just simple basic LS swap for somebody to build upon, then, so be it. But it'll be kind of on the back burner. And then we'll see if we can get the Zephyr together to try to take it to Daytona this year.